Welcome home, Mom.
Who's that girl?
The nurse they brought over from the capital. The poor thing. She doesn't know what she's gotten herself into.
She's too young. She must have zero experience.
Well, I mean, I'm glad she's young. She'll have more initiative, more energy. Plus, forgive me for saying so, but she's pretty easy on the eyes, huh? Hey, Amanda, come and have a drink with us, okay?
No.
Just try it. You're gonna love it. Relax, woman. We're not gonna bite you.
I knew it was you. Margarita. Why'd you come back, Margarita? Why, and why did you lie?
Margarita is dead, Victor. You hear me? They murdered her. The last night that we saw each other, she was killed. It was the Santa Cruz brothers. They raped me. Then they threw me away like I was a piece of garbage. So the reason I'm here is to finally get justice once and for all. I'm going to destroy their lives, one by one. So that when they hit rock bottom, they'll feel only pain and humiliation. Then they'll know how they made me feel. I came back to seek justice.
Get justice or love again. Amanda, 14 years wasn't long enough to forget.
We're back with another exciting episode of Binge Game Changer! Here we capture success from different perspectives. I'm your host with the most, Sheyi Banigbe, and you're about to go on a ride of a lifetime. Then the pay wasn't fantastic.
That 30K, I got 30K for my first job, and that was a lead role.
Oh my gosh.
To succeed, you must be willing to be misunderstood.
It's easier for people to become famous.
Yeah.
But it's also easier for you to lose it.
Tons of ideas bubbling in your head.
Idea, okay.
Yes, it's game time, people! Egule egudu! Agbe amo ekale!
Simone's Oasis welcomes you to our brand new show, A Few Minutes With. Each episode features a guest who shares their experience in the area of special needs.
When I started working with her, it was so difficult at first, but thank God now I understand her very well.
We talk to experts, families, and people living with special needs.
Your child is your child any day, no matter what. You must be ready to do everything possible, your best to be able to help your child live a normal life.
So, if you'd like to know more about the special needs community and what everyday life is actually like for those with special needs, then watch A Few Minutes With right here on this channel.
All that glitters serious.
I am the father. Allow me to be a part of this girl's life if I leave this world.
Auntie, you do not understand, because if you did, you would not have brought this rapist in here. Miriam!
This institution will not tolerate insubordination.
My husband is a friend. Are sleeping with your boss. You don't think that's a bigger deal?
I don't even know how they got to that level.
Say something, just, talk to me.
Chief Salawi is upset with you for dancing with this girl.
I need you to find every loophole we can use against them.
What exactly do you want?
I want everything. I will chop off your abana, cut off your whatever.
Like this.
This is business.
Are you turning me down?
All that glitters serious.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops,
to Your View special edition of International Women's Day. I'm excited to be here today, and I'm so happy to have the ladies. Hello, ladies.
Hello. Good morning.
And we have seated amongst the audience, we have we have quite our old audience members. Welcome, 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 welcome. We have Unilag students also here. You're very welcome. And we have the NYSC, I think it's batch A. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. So let me come to the ladies. Hello, Nima Akashat Zibiri. How are you? We don't have much for banter, so
no time for
very
banter.
quickly.
Very well.
How you doing?
I'm happy that this year's theme is breaking the bias. I have a bias I'll share maybe later.
Yeah. Why can't in the building?
Good morning, good morning. No time for banter.
Yeah, just saying hello. Tokwe, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm happy to be here, and we're wearing black because there's a constitution that women vote.
Yeah. Hello, Mariam.
I'm happy to be here. I'm excited, breaking the bias. And for me, there are some unconscious biases that we have, and we need to deal with them.
Fantastic.
Talk about it.
So I'm so excited to be here, and we're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we breeze through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the review. The Nation. Confusion in APC over caretaker boss Buni's fate. Freed Igboho to remain in Cotonou. Picture here, Kiari, 6 others arraigned for drug trafficking. Naiti, 51 oil, gas firms owe federal government 1.32 trillion naira. Family of slain Lagos BRT bus demands justice. Crisis reading, Osun PDP holds primaries, and we fled Ukraine, dodging Russian bullets and bombs. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Naiti quickly.
Naiti?
Yes, the Nigerian Extraction Industries Transparency Initiative released their reports for 2020 yesterday, and they said that 51 oil and gas companies owe the federal government 1.32 trillion naira. Out of these 51 companies, 26 of the 77 firms that owed 2.63 trillion have paid their debts. So we still have a balance of 51 people outstanding. Originally, it was 77 when we took the report sometime last year. And, you know, only 26 have since paid. We know what the government need. We know they need funding the most. Yesterday in the papers, the Minister for Transportation was saying China has refused to fund the Kano-Lagos rail, and because of that, they are insisting, the contractors, CECC is insisting that Nigerian government have not paid them, but they know there's a part of that contract that says they also would go and generate funds. And because China is refusing to fund, so we know that Nigerian government needs money, and we can't have oil companies who've made profit here owe us money. They need to pay up.
Right. Yes,
Okay.
I have this story. So we still have Nigerian students in Ukraine. In fact, according to the report, it says we have, as of Saturday night, 368 Nigerian students who are still in Ukraine. This story is based on 8 Nigerian students who took the bold step of trying to escape during this period. They said that there's a window of opportunity for civilians to leave based on an agreement between Russia and Ukraine. So 8 Nigerian students from Sumi State University, Hostel 3, have, taken the escape route. So they gave stories of how right now many of them are suffering because there's no water, no food, everything is so expensive, transportation is expensive. They're talking about $1,800 per head to get a taxi. These 8 students, one of them spoke to them, and they're so young. There's an Emanuela Oiza who gave a story of how they escaped from the school through the bombings, escaping Russian soldiers, finally got to a house where the the owners of the house let them in. They had some coffee and tea, eventually got on the bus again, and trying to find their way to the border. Where they are is closer to Russia, than all the other borders. So they're trying to find their way out. But they're saying there's so many Nigerian students still stuck in that area. And they also mentioned, they said, even though Nigerian government had promised to take them out, they have failed them again. It's so sad.
Really sad. I saw a video also trending. They're in the cold. Many of them don't have shelter. So some of them have been lucky to get some families to assist, but others are still in the cold, freezing. Okay, I was going to take Sunday Igboho has finally been freed. But he's asked to stay within Benin Republic because obviously they still have some cases he has still some cases to answer. But the good thing is that he's no more under detention, and that he was handed over to Professor Banji Akintoye and Professor Wale Adeniran yesterday.
So he was granted bail
on medical grounds.
And
yes.
The court was wise enough to give him jurisdiction, to stay within jurisdiction of the court for his medical care. So it's something we can learn from in Nigeria here.
Okay, any other story? Let's move on quickly to the Punch. Governors dump back bill as confusion reigns APC. Drug ring, Kyari others remanded, co-accused plead guilty. I and my brother's widow offered 120 million naira for settlement, says slain OAU students billing. Oh, sibling, actually. Missing lady's corpse recovered. BRT driver arrested. Lawyers tackle Lagos. Alhaji lied. Falaye resigned. 2 million naira UK transfer for, says spokesman. Buhari approves houses for 1994 Super Eagles players. And customs bow to pressure. Suspend evaluation of imported vehicles. Okay, let's have the BRT. Who has that story? YK, you have the story?
The BRT
yes,
lady,
please.
Yeah. She was, they found her body, and some reports are saying her body has been mutilated. The family is saying no, they haven't been, she hasn't been touched. But her boss said she saw the body and she was bleeding from her private part. And that's indicating. And what had happened was she boarded the bus and she started texting her friend saying, look, this driver has refused to pick up passengers since he picked me. The friend called her, and I think she tried to pick it, so she could hear Bamishe and somebody arguing. The next thing, they threw her body out of the bus, and the driver was found. The neighbors in the area where contacted the police, and they found her body. The driver was found in Ogun State somewhere. He says no, it's because they boarded his boss with guns, and he asked him to shut up or he will shoot, and he was afraid. They threw the body out. He doesn't know anything about it. He ran because he was scared.
Yeah, so that's what he said.
Sadly, this is a one-chance bus situation, and we would never have believed it was possible on the BRT.
I know.
So this has to have been the safest means of transport.
Yeah, so the good thing is, the good thing that they were able to find him, because I was even told, my driver was telling me there that they actually shut down the BRT lines. So obviously, no work for them. They couldn't. This morning, he had to use the other buses to get to work. So they shut down the BRT line, according to him. But they were able to trace this guy, and I'm happy they found out. But he's now claiming he's not the one. There's somebody else.
So why didn't he report it?
Garanto.
Yes.
Which was a good thing.
Yes.
So that means the BRT system works.
Works, but just like it can be safer. It needs to be safer, and then we have cameras because we need to know who's coming in and who's going out.
Not be the first. Because nobody would have thought, if she had not been a smart young lady and sent messages, this would have just gone under the carpet.
And for me, the driver's reason makes no sense, because the first thing he would have done is to report to the police. Look at what has just happened to me.
So even if he was under threat, he was a BRT driver. They have a special lane. They have that special. He is the one who could have gotten away with this.
All right, let's move on because that's our hot topic today. Yes.
The story of the customs. Custom bows to pressure. There's been indefinite strike by in the Lagos ports. Stakeholders have complained about the e-vehicle identification process, that it is cumbersome. And so, in response to the strike that has been on for the past 2 weeks, the Nigerian Customs Service has announced from yesterday that there will be a 31-day suspension of that process. And I'm happy to hear this because we must have a government that is responsive. So if they've complained that this thing is not working for us, listen to them, negotiate, and let's resolve the way forward. So I'm looking forward to the solution over the next 31 days. And I'm hoping that since it's been suspended, those that are on strike get back to work and let's free the congested ports.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria, on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communication story.
Welcome back. We're still reviewing the papers, and very quickly, we're still worked on Punch.
Yeah.
So we had a story.
No,
Okay, Mariam had a story, yes.
So we remember the story of the master student of OAU who was killed. So court proceedings have started, and his older brother was called as a witness. Bade is his name, and he talked about when he got to the hotel, he saw, that's also with the investigative team, he noticed bloodstains on the wall. He noticed that the door to his brother's room had been damaged and repaired, and he said that, and then he also said someone made a call to him. The person is called Idmund, and the person offered him 15 million naira for his silence, and also offered the widow 70 million naira so that they could settle the matter out of court. Although when he was cross-examined, he came to notice that he did not write it in his first statement, but he said that was what he saw. The widow also was called to give her own account, and they said she was really emotional. She broke down crying, and one of the staff, the receptionist, also admitted to the fact that the register for that night was doctored, so that things were changed on the night. And the widow said that the last thing her husband ate was on Friday, November 4th, just so it looked like it was when he got to the hotel at that it happened. Really sad story.
Okay, there was a story that I wanted to take in Punch. So, President Buhari, after 28 years of promising Nigerians houses, so there was the 1999 Super Eagles were promised houses back then. 28 years later, they're collecting their houses in their individual states. This was made by the Ministry of Works and Housing, that the president had announced the approval in Lafia, Nasarawa, during the inauguration of the completed homes under the government's National Housing Program. So since 1999, so in Nigeria is telling you that if I promise you something, you won't get it 30 years after.
But it could also mean that delay is better than denial. Like,
oh, really?
But this is no. But the Eagles that they promised in 1999 are not the people that reached it now.
No, it's the ones that it's the Eagles that. It says approved the allocation of houses 22 members of the 1994 Super Eagles. Those people there.
Those ones. Okay.
When they come back, come collect house.
Is late now.
Keshi is gone.
Keshi is late.
They'll give their family members.
They'll give their family members. It's better late than never. Yeah, that's the right quote, not delayed now.
Is it better late than never? I'll keep your gift. Go ahead. All right, let's
take Alaji, the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Chief Olufalaye, was denying the claim by the former finance minister, Alhaji Abubakar Alhaji, said that Alhaji lied, because the statement that came out was that he made a transfer of, that he was sacked, and he said he wasn't sacked, he resigned under General Ibrahim Babangida, that he wasn't sacked for fraud, he resigned, there was no transaction to his name. He did not transfer any money. So he wanted to clear his name, that those that are claiming that Chief Olufalaye's exit from the government had anything to do with the transfer of 2 million to London is a gross distortion of facts. He wanted to set the facts straight. And I think that when people are alive to, let everybody write their autobiography, and let's not just be doing media trial, not one account or the other account. If you are making any accusation, let it be formal. Don't just dirty somebody's name without proof of what you are claiming has been done.
Okay, moving on quickly to Daily Sun. Tension, confusion in APC. FG warns against recruitment of Nigerians to flight in Ukraine. Police recover mutilated body of missing BRT passenger, arrest driver. Afenifere hails Igboho's release from prison. Anglican priest resigns, accuses bishop of harassment and persecution. Insecurity, Southeast monarchs, bishops hit FG and governors over silence. Strike, why renegotiation of agreements with ASU, others linger, says federal government. IPOB unmask unknown gunmen, sponsors in Southeast. Okay, which story in Sun?
Go ahead. Headline, there was tension in...
why can you read political story?
I read political story
today.
Please do. Because I've been trying to understand
Me too, we've all been trying to understand it, but go ahead.
So, when they got to Blantyre Street, where the secretariat is housed, they came with about 70 security agents, battle ready, entered, had the meeting. So they're saying that the president has asked the governor of Niger State to take over. Buni had gone, he traveled and he left his secretary, and the governors are saying, why did you leave your secretary in charge? Why didn't you leave the governors in charge? So it's like they're trying to do a mini coup. So there is a heavy
confusion,
kata in APC right now. And it's the same thing that happened in PDP the last time.
So the more crisis we have, the more inroad
for
the third force would have.
So
any other story?
Yeah, so do you guys remember the story of Nigerians that were queuing up to go and fight in Ukraine?
Yes.
You remember they also said they were not asking them for $1,000?
Yes.
Nigeria, federal government has said, see, we do not allow, we do not agree, we do not support mercenaries. We don't have mercenaries fighting our own wars, and will not allow for Nigerians to go and fight as mercenaries in other countries. Ukraine say, we do not even ask anybody to come and fight. Nigerians themselves came to ask us, would they fight for us? And the $1,000, we did not ask anybody to pay anything. So Nigerians, over to us.
Yeah, over to you. How many of you are paying $1,000 to Ukraine to go and help them fight? But
you see, that $1,000, you want to use $1,000 to kill yourself. Because it's you that we put in the front line.
Yeah.
Let me take the story of ASU. I've been taking this story and it gets messier and messier. My heart goes out to all Nigerian students who are at home right now, because it doesn't look like it's going to be resolved anytime soon. The Minister for Education, Malam Adamu, has spoken while inaugurating a reconstituted federal government renegotiation committee in Abuja. Long story. This committee is going to be renegotiating with ASU. It is full of many pro-chancellors, and they have a 3-month period to negotiate with ASU. They are renegotiating how they are going to fulfill the 2009 agreement. Remember, ASU has said that if you don't fulfill the 2009 agreement, we are not going back to work. That you cannot keep promising us and shifting the goalpost. Now, the government is saying 3 months of renegotiation. I'm wondering, in these 3 months, would ASU go back to work? Or would the people the students still stay back at home? And it just is very heartbreaking, because I know that if our minister's children are at home for that 3 months, he probably wouldn't say 3 months negotiation. He would say, do this negotiation within 2 weeks. Let's resolve this issue fast and pay what needs to be paid to revitalize the educational sector. It's hurting.
It's the Ukraine war. So we have our students, mostly Nigerians, that are caught up in that. After Thursday's show, I got a call from family members that I have 2 cousins, distant cousins, in Sumi. So I don't find it funny anymore that, we don't have a system that works here.
Yeah.
Because I know they have no business studying medicine abroad.
I think let's go on a break. We have to wrap up on the paper review. But I think it's a good idea when we have students in the building, we might as well talk about ASU and find out what your thoughts are on this strike and how it affects you personally. Maybe that might be a good idea. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
There's a drop of goodness in everyone. Share goodness with someone today.
Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
I thought you said your children attend a public school.
Yes, so they do. These are some of the many chairs they are taught in Lagos State public primary schools under the Eco Excel program. Every day, they're excited to go to school and can't wait to return the next day.
Which one is Eco Excel?
Eco Excel is excellence in child's education and learning. It's the new technology method that Lagos State has introduced to make teaching easy for the teachers and learning exciting for the children. With Eco Excel, children in Lagos can compete with their counterparts anywhere in the world. So, you mean public schools have been upgraded? Yes, it has.
Every child in Lagos State in public primary school deserves the best. Eco Excel leaves no child behind.
Introducing an all-time mega offer. Get over 50% discount in the Airtel Home Broadband mega offer. Buy a router for just 10,000 naira and get up to 240 gigabyte or a MiFi for 5,000 naira and get up to 125 gigabyte bonus data. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Heartburn and indigestion? Try Just Eat. My recommendation for the past 26 years, Just Eat. Reliable remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
You're always running around. Keeping up with you needs a comforting touch from Huggies with the right stretch for how much you move. Huggies pants comfortably fit baby's tummy. Their 360-degree comfort fit waistband makes them easy to open and pull off and on, so baby can keep on exploring.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bali, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communication story.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information with our breakfast show.
It's officially the 2022 International Women's Day. With the ladies of Your View, I cannot stop registering our displeasure at the bias against the Nigerian women, most especially the gender bills that was recently voted out. Now, joining us on the show, we'll be talking to some special guests a bit later. But first, as we celebrate International Women's Day, we must remember that our young students are home. And during the paper review today, we were discussing ASU, and since we have university students in the audience, it was just apt to have a conversation on this issue that your professors are currently on strike. It will be great to hear your views on this and what your thoughts are, and how many of you have actually experienced various strikes, and how long has it extended, and how has it affected you and your academics. So it's a conversation the ladies would like to engage you on. But before I come to you, I would like to hear the ladies' views on this, vis-a-vis the fact that Nigerian students are also stuck in Ukraine. These are children that are going to look for greener pastures, education abroad, because our educational system here is still falling short of the right of international standards. So let me come to Nima. Would like to start?
Okay, so I hate to hear that it's because of funds that the federal government can't meet ASU's halfway. Most of ASU's demands are still not about money. UTA's payment system is not about money. Both of them can meet halfway, and I've always said it that if a system is not accepted by the people, no matter how you legislate on that system, it will fail. The IPPIS that the federal government created, it's not something ASU thinks can work well for them. Why not study UTAS and see how you can bring whatever you think you have left on IPPIS into UTAS and create a system that they would also accept. So that way they can take ownership and make it work. Then they have other demands about, funding of infrastructure within schools. We know that some of the best schools in Nigeria are the old schools. And whatever makes it best is what was built back then. So we need to upgrade systems. We need to, upgrade curriculum. We can't continue studying the way they do. Somebody would keep rotating or recycling his notes in 2020 teaching students. And when the lecturers are asking for some of these little things that don't involve money, I expect that they'll be met as faster than we can expect. Then the issue of money and all of that can be taken out, and look, a system will be created for how it's funded. But let's even do the one that money does not concern first. So,
but some will argue that the federal government has already paid some money. I mean, I read a report that I think 40 billion or so was released. So some monies have been released. Yes, it's obviously never going to be enough. But the truth is that can the school administrations tell us what has been done so far with the monies released since Jonathan's period? Because I know that former Governor, President Jonathan did release some funds to ASU at the time. Between then and now, can we see what the money was used for? This can help us in understanding how far they've gone with utilizing what the federal government has done. But let me hear your initial thoughts. Yes.
I was listening to watching journalists hang out yesterday, and apparently these universities used to be owned by the regional governments, not the federal government. The government took them over in '76, and I'm not sure why the government took it over in 1976, but maybe they should consider doing that. Return these universities to the state governments and let the state governments, concentrate, because these universities, when I was growing up, used to be the best universities all over the world. You compared with every university in, obviously the federal government cannot afford to maintain that high standard. So hand it over or give it to private individuals to run, instead of opening all these private universities all over the place.
Okay, let me
infrastructure-wise, it's just...
Let me come to you.
I like the idea of maybe handing it over to private individuals who can manage it. But that Nigerians will carry placards. What that means is that it will become quite expensive. Many parents right now, even though they know and see how many times schools go on strike, not everyone can afford to put their children in private schools. So they are waiting in these federal government schools so that their children will get education as well, but they are able to afford it. But aside from that, because it's International Women's Day, I'm thinking of the girl child as well. We constantly talk about encouraging our girl child to go to school, to educate herself, to become empowered. And this is what she goes into. Imagine a child, two neighbors. One who decided, I'm not going to go to school, I don't think it's important to me, and the one who decides to go to school, and in 5 years they're at the same place. Because I didn't go to school, maybe even better, I didn't go to school and I faced something else, but you said you wanted to go to school, to be educated, to be empowered, where are you now? The federal government has, the situation of the country has kept you exactly where I am. So I feel that we're doing the girl child a great disservice, because on the one hand you're telling her get an education, on the second hand you're not providing that education for her.
Exactly.
So these are some of the things that we need to look into. When we say that we're giving monies to the universities, what have they done with? We need to know that we're talking of arrears that they have been owed for many years, and that's what they're talking about. And many times we know how federal government is with paying people their money. These are parents too to these children that are at home. So I would want, the minister talked about a process that is being followed for these monies to be paid. They have to, on their part, make sure that they are following that process, staying true to that process, and not constantly changing the goalposts like they seem to be doing.
Let me hear your thoughts, so come to the audience.
So no nation would develop without education. Like, if we seriously want to change this country, if we want to improve this country, if we have any plan not to have major disaster on our hands, we need to prioritize education. It needs to be subsidized even further, because we need to encourage, if you don't want crime, you train your children. If you want good roads, you train engineers. If you want good hospitals, you train your doctors. If you want things to improve, it starts with the educational sector. So a government that does not prioritize funding education is a government that is not ready to develop. You are doing road, you want to build aeroplanes. You come and build gigantic, beautiful edifice. The human beings you did not educate who are hungry would tear it down. So in order of priority, ASU is number one.
Okay, so thank you ladies for starting the conversation. Let me come to Titi. Titi has a few members of the audience that might want to say a few things. Thank you, Titi, for helping us here. I would like to hear from you directly. We have NYSC students here. We have people who are members. School that currently be sent home because of the strike. So I'll just take one comment, one from NYSC and one from the UNILAC students that are in the building. Let me see, who do we have first? Your thoughts on the strike, what has happened, how has it affected you? Do I have anybody that want to say something? Thank you. Go ahead. Is the mic on? Go ahead.
Good morning. Hello. That.
Unfortunately, I can't hear her, so I have no idea what she's saying.
Titi will explain to her. Titi will tell you.
Okay. Titi, can you help me?
Do you mind taking the first mic?
Okay, so we're having
Technical issues.
Okay. Okay, so we're having some technical issues. I'm sorry, we'll come back to you. We're having some technical issues with that. Okay, let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
There's a drop of goodness in everyone. Share goodness with someone today.
Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
You're always running around. Keeping up with you needs a comforting touch from Huggies with the right stretch for how much you move. Huggies pants comfortably fit baby's tummy. Their 360-degree comfort fit waistband makes them easy to open and pull off and on, so baby can keep on exploring and you keep doing great, Mom.
Now in a new look pack.
My son has always dreamt of being in the spotlight. That's why I give him Bornvita for everyday vitality that gives him the strength to pursue his dreams. Bornvita, strength to dream.
Minister for Enjoyment is what everyone calls me because I love to enjoy myself.
So creamy. So good.
Enjoyment Minister, can we get back to the meeting?
Sorry, Cowbell Evaporated Milk is delicious milk that is carefully formulated to retain its creaminess and great taste.
Even hubby loves the creamy taste.
So creamy.
So good.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet absorbs quickly and starts providing fast and effective pain relief you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets.
Helen Paul! Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow!
Any short, sharp pain is usually the first sign of sensitivity. The likelihood this condition is probably going to get worse if you do nothing about it. I recommend Sensodyne. It actually goes inside the tooth and helps calm down the nerve. Sensodyne is a brand that I know works.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup?
Check.
Are the scripts on the prompter? Script?
Check.
Are we set in the VCR? All tip in place? VCR.
Check. Clock is ticking. Time is racing. Lights up. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup.
Check.
Are the scripts on the prompter? Script.
Check.
Are we set in the VCR? All team in place? VCR.
Check. Clock is ticking. Time is racing. Lights on. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
Thanks for staying with us. It's still our special International Women's Day show. Now, initially we wanted to talk about the issue with the students and ask, but we have to deviate, go back to the focus, which is to invite our guests, our special guest this morning, which is the member, House of Representatives, Honorable Omawumi Ononuga, the Chairman, House Committee on Women Affairs. Welcome, Madam, to the show. Good morning, Madam. Are you there? All right, so we're having some technical issues in connecting her, but before we bring her back on, hopefully we can connect with her in a moment. But before we bring her back on, these gender bills that was recently thrown out, I've been using the word thrown out for the past 1 week. And people are saying it wasn't thrown out, they just didn't vote it. But to me, it was thrown out. But I'd like to discuss it because we've been talking about it all week. It's been great to hear the thoughts of our women leaders, our students in the building, to hear their views on this gender bill that was voted out. Many women today are walking across the country and in Abuja, Calabar, Lagos especially, protesting this gender bill that was thrown out. And hopefully when the ladies leave here, we're also wearing the t-shirt saying, the Constitution women want. And the Constitution we want must include these bills, these 5 bills that were thrown out. So we are demanding as a team, as the ladies of Your View, that the Constitution we want must include those gender bills. Please give it a round of applause. So we're hoping we can get our guest on right now to hear her thoughts on special day. But whilst we're waiting for that, let me come to YK on your thoughts on this. I'm not sure I've heard your views on this gender bill.
You've heard my views. I mean, I spoke about it because
yes, you did.
I don't know how you can do a law.
We are all human. We are all part of the human race. So,
my own problem is
I don't want it to be just make
noise. Go and walk to government house. Governor will come out, talk to us, and then we'll walk up. Because I participated in a protest like that before, and I was so disappointed. When we went there saying this, and when we got there, we just walked away. The governor came out, spoke to us.
I think at that time it was Fashola. Spoke to us, and then we all walked away, and nothing was said again. If we are going to protest, let us make it a meaningful protest. Let us make it something that they will
feel. Not just something that we say and then we rest on our oars. And that is my own problem with protest. If we are going to protest, let us protest properly and make sure we carry it out to the last.
So, yeah, Lima?
So, this year's International Women's Day, and we know we got here only because stereotypes and biases exist. One of the core ones, because we live in a patriarchal society, is at birth. You hear statements like, what do you born? And when they say, what do you born, you say, I'm not there. They say, you'll be lazy man. So, such statements is how the biases started. Such that one child was more important, or gender of one child, made one child more important than the other. So, my history, my native name, I usually don't use it, I stick with Nima. But my native name is Oyo Mohono. I am the 3rd girl in a straight row. And so when I was birthed, my late granduncle attended and said, What did she born? And it was said, "Nah, girl, what happened? Now both you marry." Such statement was made, and so my father was the only one who cherished me for a long time. You would see that I cannot even live life, I can't talk, I can't enjoy a comment without my father, because he would always say to me, when I rejected my name because my classmates would make a jest of it because they were Yorubas and they didn't know what it meant. And my father would say, sit here. That name means everything to me. And that is how, you know, Nima was given, how, just so that I can own that pride of, you know, being birthed. He didn't want the drama around my birth to be transferred to me. Such things is why you see in some families, when they need to make compromises about finances, they'll tell the girl child to sit down. So when you get into politics and such people whose families think that way finally get to sit, you now ask, they will not be asking the way they were asking that day they were voting. Should we be giving them? Should we give them, you know, touch? And you were gloating and enjoying the conversation. These are important issues. This is a whole human being with thinking faculty and the ability to change the narrative. But you're saying, but she's just a woman now. So what's her value? After all, she go marry.
When they say break the bias, Mariam, what does that mean? I mean, when you say break the bias, you said about subconscious bias.
Conscious bias.
Could you tell us what you mean?
Yes. So for me, unconscious bias is just discriminations that we have made a part of our daily lives. We don't even think about it. Even women, we have it towards us. And I've seen, to be fair, you know, the world has, you know, we've been evolving, we've seen changes, but there used to be a time. If you were to look around now and you had seen a female behind the camera, unconsciously you're like, who is that? You know, because it's not a woman's job. But now we're seeing more of it. So you see a woman who starts a job and then she gets married. And you start hearing the conversations that she's soon going to have a baby and things like that. I don't know how good, I need to get someone else. So the bias now makes you think that there's just only one way to work with a woman that's married and is pregnant, is that after a while she has to go away on leave, maternity leave, that's your time, and then you have to pay her money. You don't think of the fact that, why don't we make it easier for her? Why don't we give her different hours? Why don't we give her days that she can work from home? Why don't we make sure that there's a crèche available so that when she comes, she can keep her children safely beside her? So it should open our minds, even for us as women, how else we can properly include ourselves in the workplace. I was just reading here also, because you talked about the bill. You know, the bill is, there was a part where, and a lot of women are upset about, which is we want, when we get married, a woman cannot run for office from her husband's place. And yet, when a woman gets married in Nigeria, we know you have married the family. This is now your home. You are buried in your husband's place. Everything now happens there, but yet you don't think she's important, smart, or wise enough to represent the people in that community that have accepted her as wife, that she can only be wife and mother. She cannot be a political appointee, a leader in that area. And I think that's what upsets women. Why is it that I can only be there to cook food for you, to give birth to children for you, and yet you don't think that I'm smart enough or experienced enough to offer my services at that level? So those are the things that, and those are one of the reasons that women will be going out today, because a lot of people will think, these women, they have come again, they are coming out again to hold placard, and just like you mentioned, they'll just talk to us and we leave. But now we're saying we know our rights, we know what we're demanding, and you have to sit down and have this conversation again.
Thank you. Exactly. Let me come to Tokwe, because I mean, I'm hoping our honorable will be on very soon. I'm hoping that we can connect with her, because it would be great to hear from the National Assembly and know what's going on right now, what their update is. But Tokwe, what are your thoughts on this break the bias, and how else can we begin to break the bias within our own various private spheres?
Breaking the bias starts with women taking ownership, understanding the fact that all the pleasure that we're currently enjoying is based on the fact that some women fought the battle, and I'm very honored to have be privileged to be sitting beside YK, whose grandmother fought the battle. And some battle will protest, other battles will just go there and insist this is how we want it to be. Some battles our protest would give us, some battles people will die on the path towards it. But we must understand as women that we mustn't take the limits they put on us. So the conversation, a short conversation when Mariam was talking about unconscious bias, was that my children read Mariam's amazing book about vultures, and they did a video assuming the illustrator was a man. They said, oh, thumbs up to the illustrator, he did an amazing job. And I had a feeling Mariam mentioned it was a woman, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't correct them. Only for Mariam to tell me that that illustration was done by a woman, but unconsciously they just assumed animation, illustration, it will be done by a man. We need to understand that when you hear CEO, it's not he. CEO can be she, and there are many powerful female CEOs. When I started meeting with people in my new industry, real estate, they were like, are you sure you want to do development? That why don't you just be a realtor? Realtors are making a lot of money. I say, I want to develop. They say, do you have the power for what? I said, I will do it. Why? Because until a few of us decide that we will not let anybody's stereotype hold us back. So it is a reminder that they might not agree, but if our grandmom did not drive, if they did not go out and protest that we are going to be allowed to vote, if people didn't step up, we probably wouldn't have as much right as we have now. So all of you watching at home, all of us sitting in this auditorium, don't think it is a fight for politicians. The women are the ones protesting. The protest is going on for all of us, and so we must all be involved in the protest, because the success would rub off on every one of us. So we must all get involved. Thank you.
Can I just say all right, yeah. Because we are protesting today because it's International Women's Day. What about tomorrow? What about next week? If we protest today and we don't protest tomorrow, it's not going to continue. They've just started again. They're just making noise. It's a continuous thing. It has to be, look, if it's every week, we decide that, okay, every week women are coming out. Every week women are locking the other room.
YK, somebody said it on the show, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, saying that all women across the country, we should lock up the kitchen, lock up the other room. We don't want to do it again. Lock up kitchen, lock up the other room, saying that we're protesting because every man must become a for she. Yes. Within your own constituency, within your home, within your community, within your company. So we're saying we're all protesting. That we don't want to keep going out. We want all of you.
You know what we need to do?
Yes.
We need to go and look for the politicians who voted out, and then go and meet their wives. But it's you. If your husband does not change the bill, it's you we will hold.
Exactly. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll try to talk to our audience. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
There's a drop of goodness in everyone. Share goodness with someone today.
Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
Now everybody knows I'm the man.
Enjoy the reward that sharing brings with the Airtel Family Plan. Get bonus talk time, SMS, and data for each family member you share with. Dial *141# now. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Not one, not two, but 3 reasons why Provest is best for you. 1, you save up to 20% on your payment. 2, you get to save and invest. To save or invest. 3, in just 9 months, you get your land and documents hassle-free. Rollout Provest is for you who's looking for a tangible return on your investment while saving costs.
Hurry now. Visit www.rolloutprovest.com rolandproperties.com/Provest to get started. Remember, the best time to buy land is now.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay, where do you work?
I'm a nurse.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Well, thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait, where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata in my house? If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
Heartburn and indigestion? Try Gestede. My recommendation for the past 26 years, Gestede. Reliable remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow!
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get an in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup.
Check.
Are the scripts on the prompter? Script.
Check.
Are we set in the VCR? All team in place? VCR.
Check. Clock is ticking. Time is racing.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
We all know everyone loves to be entertained, so you just have to entertain everyone around you in any way you can. Entertainment means fun, means amusement, means games, means a lot. Without entertainment in the world, I guess we'll be chosen in this world, you know what I'm saying? So I feel entertainment is everything.
Being a TV host, I can tell you that being a parent is one of the biggest reality shows you will ever produce. Hi. Oh, yeah. As cute as they can be, even you need to take a break to take care of some of the other realities of life. And that's why the TVC Staff Crash was put together to help parents just like me
get those professional childcare services that they need. Come on, let's go. Let's go. The TVC Staff Creche Baby Lounge team of professionals are here to help take a load off your mind. The TVC Staff Creche is a nursing mom support system, a toddler's safe haven, and a young learners academy throughout the year. It's comfortable, convenient, and with competitive pricing for the modern parent. So, while they learn through play, you can go about getting your pay. The TVC Staff Creche, open to the public from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m.
Simone's Oasis is excited to bring you Leah's TV, the child-friendly Black Barbie doll show aimed at promoting Black families. Each fun and educational episode centers around Mommy, Daddy, the triplets, and their amazing adventures together.
Mommy, I know what I want to be. I want to be a pilot.
Oh, Mommy, that is really cool. When I grow up, I'm going to be a fireman. I'm going to help people and save them. Daddy, look at that horse. It's so pretty.
You can catch all the exciting episodes of Leah's TV right now on this channel.
Guys, is the makeup in progress? Makeup?
Check.
Are the scripts on the prompter? Script?
Check.
Are we set in the VCR? All team in place? VCR.
Check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights are. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment.
And you make your demands until you get more than 111.
Okay, point taken. We're saying that why do we always have to feel like we're negotiating? We are constantly fighting. I mean, some people just want to be happy. Want to just live in a world where women have equal rights. We live in a society. Once we continue to have, why must we have these conversations?
We live in a world, as she said, it's not fair. As you said, I've covered wars. You see enemies who are killing themselves, havoc, destroy everything.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Across the table from one another and talk. Right. It can start from you screaming and shouting and walking out of negotiations. But then you get to a stage where both sides must agree in the interest of moving forward.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
But do you understand what it means to give, I've used the term before, a leg up? The politicians are asking for representations from different zones in Nigeria. We're talking about South now, the Southeast, because they've never really been represented at that level. So do you understand the conversation about giving someone just a little help? So why is it so hard to give help to women? And why is it in 2022 we're still talking about, well, you have won because you got 80 next time. So in 2023, we will now be having the conversation, well, we now have 100. How many times and how many years are we going to do this 2021? I think we should take the bull by the horns and find their names and do something in retaliation.
Yeah, right. Well, obviously, yes, but then also, who are you talking to? Are you talking to people who understand what women are about? Are you talking to people who realize that what they say can either make you advance or keep you where you are? So it depends. It's a conversation that must be had, whether we like it or not. The business of a constitutional amendment is not, it's not an easy task, right? It takes a lot. I am not defending the fact that the bills have been thrown away, but I am just saying, if we really mean business, and if we say that women must be represented, if we say that a woman who is married to a man should be able to claim, should be able to become indigent of where her husband is from, then we cannot give.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right.
There will be publicity. Right. You cough, you take a microphone, everybody hears what you're saying, you keep at it. If you keep at it, we will definitely succeed. You know, Rome was not built in a day. The business of constitutional amendment will not happen overnight. Regardless of the setbacks, regardless of the bias, regardless of the discrimination, we must forge ahead and understand what is important. Let us not lose focus and be distracted by those who want us to be distracted. Right. Because remember, whether we like it or not, there are people who would always think they're women, they don't begin, they will scream, they will shout, they will not cook, they will go out of the other room. But at the end of the day, right, we now need to start to think like those. We need to be one step ahead of those who just think they will make noise, and when they're tired, they will keep quiet. So in forcing this conversation, right, let's leverage on the fact that these bills have been thrown away. We're angry. Let's channel our anger in such a way that will let them understand we're angry, we're making sense, we're not being women about it, we're not being emotional about it, but we need to get everybody to understand this is a serious issue. It is not trivial. You're not going to shut us up. We're not going to be deterred. Yes. So that's what I think.
Yeah. Okay, I would really like to get the audience involved because I want to even understand if you understand this gender bill we're talking about. How many of you understand what we're talking about? We have an idea. Oh, great. So the noise is out there quite a bit. Now, if I can get a roving mic so I can get one or two comments on your thoughts on this bill, how it makes you feel, and what do you think should be done for us to get heard? Because it seems as though only certain kinds of women are talking, you know, educated. But the real crux of this are women at the grassroots because they are the ones that are voting. How many of you have PVCs here?
Yeah.
You have PVC? Ah, Mashiro. Please, you have your PVC, raise your hand like this, up to the sky. Father, and every 1, 2, 3.
We have some young students here. And we have some younger.
All right, so the point is, we had said it, I think, during the week, that we're waiting for the Honorable Speaker to release the names of who voted for and who voted against. So, you know, if Mr. John voted against, we would like women to rally around, go and find out Mr. John's constituency, gather the women there, and tell them that your lawmaker, that all of you voted for, voted against your interest. It's about time you start planning to vote against him. That's one strategy. Any Lagos lawmaker. We don't have access to states, and we don't have access to other states. We only have access to Lagos State. God help any Lagos State lawmaker that was one of those that voted against. Wallahi tallahi, we're going to march to their house. Well, I will lead the march. I will lead the march. So I would like to hear, where's the mic? And I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Yes, madam, please stand up. Yeah. Chakwa, would you like to? Thank you so much. The lady in orange. Yeah. Go ahead. We want the lady in orange.
My name is...
Yes, go ahead, madam. Tell us your name.
Shade White.
Okay, welcome.
The shutting down of the gender bill is a personal thing to me because I happen to be married to a foreigner, an American. We've been married for 5 years, and what the gender bill has just done, the shutting down has just done, is to make it impossible for my husband to be a naturalized Nigerian. Every time he has to come to the country, he goes through a lot of stress. He gets the visa, and after 30 days, we have to go back to immigration to get an extension. We have to pay, and we've been trying to get him the green card or the special immigration status. So for me, it's a personal thing. Right. It means that while Nigerian men who are married to foreign women can naturalize their wives, me, a Nigerian female who is married to an American man, cannot have my husband naturalized.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, that's a direct example. So you can see how policies within the National Assembly affects you and I. Is what they say that affects her. So her husband can't be naturalized. And that's a problem. So thank you so much, madam, for sharing that story. Let me call them. Go ahead, please, Tope.
Okay, so someone here wants to say something. Are you ready?
There's a lady behind that wants to say something.
Okay, I'll just be very brief. I feel like we women, we need to stand up for our rights and make sure that our rights are out there, and also make sure that these people see that we are not low, we are not quiet, we can talk, we have our rights, we know our rights. So it's a different thing if we don't know our rights. But now we are in 2022, our eyes are widely opened, and we know that, yes, we need to be out there. Our voices need to be heard. So I feel like that is what we need to do as women right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me take one more comment here.
My name is Sarah Okenwa. I want to highlight on what she said. Women are not heard enough. So I think we should believe in the strength and power of our voice and come together as one to make our voice more heard.
I don't want to. Let's unpack that a bit. You know, we hear these phrases a lot. You know, women are this. Yes. What does it mean? In your personal life, what does it mean to you? I don't want to just give the general rhetoric that we use. Let us unpack it. What do you want as a young woman living in Nigeria? What do you want?
So
yes.
Are you ready to express, like, breaking down what it means to be heard to you?
Hi, good morning. My name is Mercy. I'm a student at the University of Lagos, a mass communication student. I would love women to be involved in the governing process. Okay. Because if there was a woman there when decisions are made, a woman will be able to stand and tell them that you cannot bypass our bill. So I think women should stand up, because even one of our lecturers was saying that we leave men to govern the nation. Let women stand up. We can run for presidency and we can win if we support each other.
One round the other day, they only got one vote. You didn't vote for her. Go ahead, Nima. Go ahead, Nima.
I totally agree with Mrs. Stella Jacobs on the continued advocacy on this. So beyond the protest, we need to continue the advocacy from all spheres, starting from your home, when you're raising your 2 children, boy, girl. When you need to do that mind shift for all the men around us. We have a few he for she's in the National Assembly. We saw what they did. Even the speaker, I think, was a he for she. And we have some joining the protest today. We have men who are joining the protest today. We need to celebrate those men and loud it on them as if, you know, they are different. We need to bring out that celebration around them so that the shame will be on those who think their mothers are goddesses, but their wives are not.
Nima, do you realize that about 100 men supported that bill, but only 87 of them voted for? So about
exactly. So
there's some of them they're like they just
are among them.
How do they know that
neither birds or rats?
Yes.
We need to separate them. We need to put them aside. But the advocacy has to continue. It has to continue in the sense that at the birth of every child, just as I shared, celebrate it and make the noise. And when you're raising your children, do not compromise per gender. Don't say you have to sit at home, you have to go to the river, you have to be, no. Train both of them the same way. That way, when we get our men to finally grow up, and even if they are occupying seats in the National Assembly, it won't be strange to hear this kind of thing.
Because you're raising them different.
Exactly. So this bill will not change them. What
Stay tuned.
Going to 30, sitting in that house, that person's mindset did not change anything. And we need to train men who will not see things from that kind of mirror. We need to start it. The advocacy might take us a year, if we're lucky. It might take us another lifetime. But we need to continue it. It's beyond one-time protest.
Fantastic. But guess what, Nima?
We have one more contribution, another contribution.
Who trains these men and the women?
Women.
It's the same women.
So are we our own worst enemy? That's the question I need to ask. Because it is you, the woman, that will train your boy to feel he's special and the girl to believe she's the one to cook and do this. Why? So I think we all need to turn and look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and talk to ourselves. Until we do that, we will not go forward.
There's an error that we're about to do. Doctor, let me come to you.
Thank you very much. Abjolade is my name, Ajijo. I want to buttress on what Auntie Eni said. She actually spoke my mind. As much as we agitate as women to front any governance in Nigeria, I want us to have it at the back of our mind to be women of integrity.
Thank you.
It's not someone that will go there and go and embezzle and begin to carve out how to embezzle money and go and save it abroad. I want you to have a standard. If you have a standard, the men will vote for you. If you have a standard, even children, born and unborn, people will support you. Nature will support you. Thank you. That's my contribution.
I have a question for you. This narrative, I have heard it over and over. We need to be special women. There are no special men in the National Assembly, they are just men. And our criminal laws are not special across gender. It's the same sentencing, the same consequence for any crime that you commit. So if we have a woman first enter office first, let her enter first. If she embezzles, she faces the same consequence. Yes. The men special heads. Let's leave that one that, we have some women who, what did Dora Kuyili get at the end of the day? Nothing. But she got a good name. Yes, a great legacy. She got a good name and left a great legacy. So we cannot shift our focus on some people whose, issues are not.
So we have to, I want us to wrap up on this, because when we come back, we're going to focus on Stella Dean's story. You need to hear her story, trust me. You can't leave here without hearing a bit of her story. But I'd like to get one more person to the one more, then we'll go on a break. Oh, I'm told we have to go on a break. And we come back, we continue with the conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup? Check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script? Check. Are we set in the VCR? All tape in place? VCR? Check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights up. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
With another exciting episode of BJ Game Changer! Here we capture success from different perspectives. I'm your host with the most, Sheyi Banibe, and you're about to go on a ride of a lifetime. Then the pay wasn't fantastic.
That 30K, I got 30K for my first job, and that was a lead role.
Oh my gosh.
To succeed, you must be willing to be misunderstood.
It's easier for people to become famous.
Yes.
But it's also easier for you to lose it.
Tons of ideas bubbling in your head. Yes, it's game time, people! Egule Egudu! Agbe Amo Akale!
Entertainment means to me, as in Nigeria, as an Africa, it's in our music, it's in our art, it's in our culture, it's in the Batadan.
We're still discussing this issue of gender bias, breaking the bias. And we have our guest with us. We have another guest to join the conversation. We have Olutomi Shomefun, the MD of Unity Bank. Welcome to the show, madam.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you on the show. So we are all protesting. In fact, today on the show, all the ladies have the constitution we want because we are protesting, and most of us are wearing black today. Tell us your thoughts on the current situation of the constitutional review, where 5 of our bills were thrown out, and the fact that women are protesting today. What are your general thoughts, and how do we sustain this momentum at this point?
Well, first of all, congratulations to all the women on the platform. Happy International Women's Day. And I think the topic for this year is quite appropriate, especially in light of recent developments regarding our constitution, which is to break the bias. For me, this is an issue that it's a bit of a sensitive issue, because the reason for stepping down the bill is religious. We cannot move away from the fact that our country is still very, very, very much entrenched with religious biases and religious, should I say, influences. And I believe this is one of the reasons that this bill was stepped down. It is an unfortunate development because the world has moved far, far, far away from that. Even in some other countries that had very strong biases against women as a result of religion, we are seeing a lot of progress being made in this regard. However, we cannot run away from the fact that that is what we are. That is our reality in Nigeria. And I want to just appeal that this issue will be handled with the sensitivity that it deserves and requires. We will not give up, but aggression is not what will take us there. It's more of assertion, proving our points in a convincing and an assertive way. Aggression will just be a lot of noise that will not take us far. Personally, I believe assertion and making our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs and our strong arguments, putting them forward in a concise and logical manner, deliberately and intentionally, is what will take us there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much. Taking you a bit away from the gender bill specifically, because based on your portfolio, I've read your CV, I follow you, and you must have broken several barriers on your journey to where you are right now. And the question, because my contribution earlier generally was that we need to leave the bias and just try to break through the ceiling regardless, and you already hinted at it. Can you just tell us a bit to the young women watching, to the older women watching that feel these limits of bias weighing them down? What were the key things you did to excel where you are now, and how would you counsel them going forward?
Thank you very much. Let me start by saying that whether we like to accept it or not, breaking the bias starts with us.
Yep.
As women. It starts with you and I. I believe it was Eleanor Roosevelt that said, nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. And I believe that's what breaking the bias is all about. Now, everyone has a right to be biased. They have a right. They are free, not a right. They are free to be biased. They are free to discriminate. But you, as a woman and as a person, has the right to refuse to allow that bias to affect you. You have the right, you have the option, and you have the power to refuse being discriminated against. How do you do this? As I said earlier, we will not get very far with aggression. Assertion. We assert ourselves in many different ways. We assert ourselves first by our actions, by our outputs. How do you behave in the workplace? A lot of women like to talk about gender equality, gender this, gender that. Are you really ready to stand shoulder to shoulder with men? Are you ready to take on the responsibilities that are given to men? Are you ready to perform at that job or in that role without constantly giving excuses? Part of the bias that we experience today is actually caused by us. Let's be frank with ourselves. Part of the bias we experience as women is as a result, sometimes, of some of our actions. Forget the cultural differences. That is there. There's nothing we can do about that. Nigeria is an evolving and emerging nation. We're coming round. Women are being more accepted. Industries and organizations are now putting a deliberate effort in including women and empowering women. For example, the CBN sustainability banking principle. Let me start from my own industry, the finance industry. Number 4 is about women empowerment, women economic empowerment, including women in key roles across the industry. But as a woman, are you doing your best and your bits to break that barrier? That is my question.
Let me come back
so
to
it starts with.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam. Please give her. I think very profound statement she made that it's actually bias starts from us. And once we begin to take ownership and realize that nobody can give, only you can give permission for people to break their bias on you. Let me come back to Stella Jacob, because you in the journalism industry, and there was a time it was male dominated, and that was probably the time when you started. Could you give us an inroad into how you started and how your background helped you out to get there, and those challenges you faced as a woman?
The biases. Okay. I agree with what she said, 100%.
Well, I didn't really hear you very well, but I suspect you were asking how I coped in a male-dominated industry.
Okay, so I was...
Well, let me start that.
All right, so the discussion is for Stella Dean in the studio, but I'll come back to you, madam. Go ahead.
Okay. Everyone asked me this question. I'm not sure that I ever encountered bias in the course of my work. My background is law. I'm a lawyer. I veered off into media by accident. After law school, everybody wanted me to work in a bank or in an insurance company or in an oil and gas company. And I was a bit of a rebellious bleeding heart. It wasn't about making money, but like I thought, okay, with a Western education, I wanted to come back and change my country and blah, blah, blah. That was, little did I realize how naive I was. But then I took my naivete and decided to do something reasonable with it. So I started television without so much as a shred of experience. But I determined from the very first day that I walked in to the TV station that I was going to make a difference. It was long hours of coming to work at 6:30 in the morning and closing at 11 o'clock at night. No Saturday, no Sunday. On Christmas Day, when my family would have like the traditional turkey, roast potatoes and all of that, I would roast the turkey overnight in the oven. The office car would come and pick me up at 6:30 when my family was going to church. So when my family would be having lunch on the dining table, my mother would send my food on a tray. It can be verified, you know. And the first day I walked into the office, my first job was at Channels Television. And I met Mr. and Mrs. Momo for the first time. And the first question they asked me was, have you ever watched some program? And I said no, but I realized I had. And I was like, I'm not coming here to be a journalist. I want to be a lawyer. And they're like, hell no, you're not going to do my legal work. You're going to be a journalist. And I'm like, journalists? These people who can't speak English, who don't read? You know, those were my thoughts. And my first job was, you're going to transcribe from the radio. And I'm like, me, transcribe from the radio. But then funny enough, at A-level, I did communication studies. So I was very comfortable with news. And it meant on a daily basis watching BBC, CNN, the international stations, and going on excursions to all of those organizations. So I realized that coming to work was fun. It wasn't a chore.
Right.
So I could sit down, I could transcribe, and then the wars in Bosnia-Herzegovina were raging with intense ferocity. So you had to pronounce names like Banja Luka, which was spelled Banja Luka, and you know, names that were spelled and pronounced wrongly. And so sometimes the MD would say to me, pronounce this name, and I would pronounce it. And I remember the first day I walked into Channels, I was reading a book called Witness to Genocide. It was a book by Roy Gottman, I think. It was a green book with red whatever. So from the very first day, I realized I was a new kid on the block who had no experience. And I didn't want it in my face, you this girl of nowhere. I still hear that 27 years later. Anyway, you this girl from nowhere, what do you know? Where are you coming from and all? So you see, you hear those things, but for me, they were not biases. It was just the tonic that I needed to stay focused and stay on the course of my work. Now, at the time I came into TV, it's not to say that there weren't women in TV, but the question is some had made their marks. There were the CNN All-World Brands, there was Bimbo Oluyede, there was Ruth Benemesia Opia, there was Ronke Ayuba, and many more before them. But then the stereotype in our business was women always wanted to cover fashion, lifestyle, entertainment, you know. So you would see the perception of a lot of people were pretty faces, but nothing up your head. Well, this is a generalization. But it is not my generalization, it is the perception. So pretty faces, all you want to see is them doing the easy stuff. And then some came on the scene, and maybe because I was a daring person and I was somebody who was interested in things that were not common. Right. So I would, rather than wanting to cover entertainment, I would rather want to cover the wars, the conflict, the crisis, the protests. At the time of the...
I'll be on a break now because I really want to hear how you got to Sierra Leone in the first place.
Okay.
And how you got to cover that story. Stay with us, Greg.
Okay.
Be right back.
Simone's Oasis is proud to present the Zaki and Zoltan Adventures, a musical show about Nigerian-American brothers who love to travel the world, learning about different countries and cultures.
Did you know Ghana is also home of the largest market in West Africa, called KJTL?
In each bright and colorful music video, children get to learn about a particular country in fun ways, exploring the places, people, and their culture. Watch Sing along and discover the world with Zaki and Zoltan right here on this channel.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on Estella Dean Jacob. You had a question, Mariam, or
no? She was going to tell us.
You're talking about,
you asked how she was going to tell us about how she got to Sierra Leone.
Yes, Sierra Leone.
Now, the wars in Sierra Leone had been raging in the early 90s, and remember before then there was the Liberia and ECOMOG going in, and like you know, the Mano River Union countries, usually Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea are basically intertwined. You know, so one thing or the other, and then you had rebels from other countries fighting in Sierra Leone and vice versa. So, sometime in March 1998, ECOMOG had restored President Ahmed Tijan Kaba, who was the president who was deposed by John Paul Kuruma in a military coup. So he was exiled in Guinea, and we were going to his inauguration. But before then, you know, it was all sorts of meetings in Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, and neighboring states to ensure that the negotiations, we were covering the negotiations. So in 1998, we set out from Nigeria to attend the inauguration of President Ahmed Tijan Kaba. And he came back into office, but no sooner after he came back, the wars continued. So I was working as foreign affairs correspondent then, so it was my work to make sure that all of the stories, regardless of where they were happening, I had a story, I had a program which I was presenting as well. So on one occasion, it must have been in January 1999, when the rebels marched on Freetown, it was really, I was in Sierra Leone by accident because I went there to do something else. There was some peacekeeping or peace support mission award ceremony or something. And then that story just happened. And we didn't have a choice but do what we do best as journalists. They're like, you know, you find yourself in a situation, you take your story. If you went there on this mission and something else happened, you needed to now channel your mindset into making sure that you got the story. So I was in Freetown at a time where rebels were their most brutal and ferocious. Where women were being shot at, pregnant women and fetuses were being taken out of their stomachs, you know, and then you would see vultures because of the fact that everything, vultures picking away at human beings. Some of it is gory. I apologize for anyone who's listening and who may have a queasy somewhere like that is what happened. And you know, after that, I remember I came back to Nigeria and I was ill. I came back with typhoid. I came back miserable because it was my first experience with man's inhumanity to man. And at the time the wars in Sierra Leone were raging, the international community was engaged with the crisis in East Timor, Kosovo, Macedonia. And so at the end of the day, what was being given to that country was a pittance compared to what countries that were in Eastern Europe were warring, you know, and it became a story that one had to tell because first of all I was like, is this for real? How do you tell the story? And then you're seeing things happening. You're seeing rebels going around in gun trucks. You're seeing...
Let me pause you for a second because there are lots of young people here who have no idea, you know, and they're mass communication adults, students. When they hear rebels, they don't even understand what makes you a rebel. Because Nigeria, some people argue that Nigeria is at the precipice of getting into that situation where we're having warlords in different places, we're having all sorts of uprisings in different communities. And people who know and seen war are saying we must ensure that we don't get to that point. So it's so crucial to hear from people like you who have experienced and covered wars, that when you say a rebel, how does it start? It's from these kind of little uprisings you see in pockets of places.
Yes, it's little agitations, and with all due respect, but no apologies, and social media, you know, that is where we found ourselves today, where people demonstrate a lack of tolerance, where people feel that, you hear people say the Constitution, freedom of expression, but there isn't any freedom that is absolute. Because if you feel that because you have a right to speak, then you can open your mouth and say whatever it is, it is little things like this that fuel conflict. And especially because in Nigeria, we're dealing with socioeconomic, socio-political, socio-cultural, ethno-religious. I'm from Plateau State, so I also understand it, that it is one wrong word that can become the trigger, that becomes the catalyst. So I say to everyone, and with no apologies, that one of the things we need to practice, we need to learn to self-censure. We need to make sure that before we disseminate information, we have the facts. We need to make sure that when we're speaking, we're ready to listen to the other party. You may not agree with what the other person is saying. If we exercise restraint and we are more tolerant, trust me, there would never be a keg of gunpowder waiting to explode. Fantastic. But sometimes people disseminate a narrative. You hear, it's the Chinese whispers. I heard it through the grapevine. I say to Mariam, Mariam, this is what Morayo has said. Oh, really? Are you sure? I'm not sure. Mariam now goes to YK and says, this is what Stella says. YK now goes to Hajia Nima, Nima now goes to Tope, and all of that. And at the end of the day,
not only that, when we are narrating, we have added.
Exactly. So you see, it doesn't take this much to start a war.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up. I think Dean Jacob has given us one thing we can go home with. We must have restraint and tolerance. Those two key words, I think, is something the ladies of your view must begin to push out. Restraint, exercise restraint and tolerance. I wanted to add something.
Yes, I wanted to add something in the spirit of International Women's Day. A lot of times we ask the questions like, we separate ourselves from those who have done better. And sometimes the other woman looks at you and say, well, she's different from us. She thinks she's all that. But when I'm hearing your story, I can see that the difference between you and I is because you have put in the work. So every one of us has the same opportunity. Once we put in the work, we can achieve anything. We can break ceilings. So that's what I got from that. Yes.
It must start with you.
All right, we have to wrap up. Thank you very much. Before we go, we have to thank our sponsors. Guinness has been a major sponsor. We also would like to thank Biggie Drinks. They provided the drinks that will be given our guests today. Thank you so much. And the entire crew, Tolu Lokwe Lamidi did a fantastic job putting this together. Thank you very much. The production team, Dolapo Maradesa, Bumi, Okweshan Jobi, and the entire team. Thank you to the technical team. I know it's not easy, especially when you're put outside, but you've done a fabulous job. Thank you so much. And our special guest, Stella Dean Jacob. Thank you very much. And also Whitestone Event Center, thank you very much for this lovely building.
Shino Lights.
And Shino Lights, yes, thank you so much. Okay, I didn't have it. Go ahead, Nimab.
Connecting Lagos, Shino Lights, Whitestone, Right Foods, we appreciate you all. Thanks for your contribution to making this successful.
Fantastic. And Titi Oyiso, somewhere in the building, helping us take the mic around. Thanks to Titi of Wake Up Nigeria. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you. That's all we can take. We're off to Lausa.
Yes, we're going to join the protest. Everybody.
Lausa, we're going to march because this is the constitution we want. Yes. We must have the 5 bills added to the constitution.
Please let the march not only be today.
So, break the bias. Ladies of your view, let's break the bias. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow.
How I made $1 million from my organic beauty brand.